Hello, this is Brian Scuttle of Sonic Cinema. This is the end of day 6 at the Sundance Film Festival. The awards have been given out. There are going to be a few movies that I catch up with tomorrow, which I will review. And also, there are going to be some short films that I try to catch as well before those expire. Uh, there were two features that I watched this evening, and I wanted to bring them up because of the fact that they're worth bringing up, and because I'm trying to review everything that I wanted to that I watched at the festival this year. And doing, I was originally going to do these two separately, but thinking about both of them, they actually make a lot of sense to talk about together. And the first one is The Dog Who Wouldn't Be Quiet, which is a black and white film from Argentina. And it is about a young man who is kind of aimless. He does everyday work, he does odd jobs here and there. He starts out with a dog who is left alone all day and won't be quiet. And then something happens, and the man is sent on something of a journey, and eventually he finds some happiness, and then something apocalyptic happens that throws another monkey wrench into his life. And it's an interesting film. It's a bit it is kind of aimless in the middle, even though it's only an hour 13 minutes long. But it's really interesting to see sort of the comparisons to what happens to him after the initial tragedy, and then also after the secondary tragedy, which is on a more global scale. And the film has kind of a very symmetrical structure in that respect. And he seems very happy. He seems very content in what he's doing at the beginning, and then something very important to him is lost, and he starts to feel even more aimless, just doing odd jobs. He's very much a transient. This is, and it's actually kind of a movie that I would say might double well with Nomadland, which is coming out, which is going to be available later this month, and my review will be on Sonic Cinema for that. It's a bit aimless in the middle, but it's really kind of interesting. It's kind of quirky in its own ways, especially at the end. And if you get a chance to watch it, you'll see what I mean. The second movie I watched tonight is Robin Wright's directorial debut, Land. And she plays a woman who is struggling after a personal tragedy, and she goes out to this cabin in the wilderness, and doesn't want a car with her. Doesn't want. She basically wants to fend for herself, and you wonder about her motivations as to why she's there. And it's a very formulaic premise in the way it unfolds, but it's done with sincerity. And the thing that struck me watching Land is that the two movies are very similar. This and The Dog Who Wouldn't Be Quiet are very similar in the fact that they take these two characters who are dealing with a personal loss and just put them in a situation where they kind of have to fend for themselves. And I think Land is by far the more predictable of the two. The Dog Who Wouldn't Be Quiet is definitely a bit more experimental in that respect. But I think they're both kind of worth watching. Neither of them are necessarily my favorites of the festival, but I actually like what these movies have going on in terms of their narrative, in terms of what they're saying emotionally. And I kind of appreciate that, and is made an interesting double feature for me as the festival was winding down. like I said, I'll probably have a couple more movies that I talk about next tomorrow as the award winners of Sundance are watched and played. But for now, this is Brian Scuttle with Sonic Cinema and the Sonic Cinema podcast. I hope you've enjoyed my coverage. I'll have a written blog summing up some things, talking about my first Sundance, and then I'll have a podcast with an interview. I'll also have a transcribed version, so long as I can get the audio back, of an interview I did with Sean Ellis, the director of Eight for Silver. And my desktop is screwed up, so that's why I'm not sure about the audio right now. But this is Brian Scuttle with Sonic Cinema. Thank you very much for sticking with me on this, on the coverage for the Sundance Film Festival. It's been a lot of fun, and I will talk to you later. Bye.